Good morning, Washington Eagles. It is Wednesday, May 5th. It is math time, and we are working on equivalent fractions today. So I don't know if you noticed this on Monday, but on Monday, when I had 1/2 up here, and I divided it, and we made it into a fourth, I don't know if you noticed or not. So here's our half. So when I divided that into a fourth and then I shaded that in, you remember that? You remember how, actually it was like this. It was like I had a half and I shaded it in. So here's our half. And then I said, oh, let's turn it into a fourth. And so I did this. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but, 2/4. So, do you remember me doing that? So, what I did actually was I made an equivalent fraction. Okay, so I turned our half into fourths, and then those two parts still stayed the same. Okay, so that's an equivalent fraction. 1/2 and 1/4 is an equivalent fraction. So, will 4/8 be an equivalent fraction to 1/4 and 1/2? It sure will. So we're just shading in. How much? We're shading in half. So here are our parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our whole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4/8, 1/4, and 1/2 are all equivalent fractions. And you can do the same thing for twelfths. So we're just going to shade in half, which should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, those aren't even, but you get the gist. So these are all equivalent. 6/12, 4/8, 1/4, 1/2. Even though these numbers get, the parts get smaller, but the amount but this amount is still the same. It's still half. Okay, our denominator is changing because there are smaller parts. Okay, so Leo is, I don't know what Leo's doing. Now, another way that we can get to equivalent fractions is by multiplying. So that's why it's very important that you know your multiplication. And for me, all right, we're just going to jump into it. Okay, so we have 1/2. That black pen is not working very well. So let's make an equivalent fraction for 1/2. Okay, so what you can do here to make an equivalent fraction is you can multiply. So you can say times 2 times 2. Now, with fractions, what you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. Definitely when it comes to equivalent fractions, you gotta multiply the same number to the top as you do to the bottom. So what is 1 times 2? 2. What is 2 times 2? 4. So 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Let's check. So here's our 1/2. Let's get our fourths going. So here's our half. Here's 1/2. And how many parts are we shading in? 2. 1, 2. Are those equivalent? Yes, they are. Can we do, what if we did 1/2? And what if we did times 3? Times 3 times 3. Okay, because remember, what you do at the top, you have to do to the bottom. We're making equivalent fractions. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. Well, let's see. Let's divide this into 6. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's shade in 3 of those. That's going to be a little bit off kilter because is that still half? Does that still represent a half? It does. It is. So 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2. Can we do times 4? Yeah, you can do any number as long as you multiply the top number, the numerator, and the denominator by the same number. It will always be equivalent. And it doesn't have to be a half. It can be any number. So let's try another one. So let's try 1/5. Okay, let's make equivalent fractions for 1/5. 1/5. Okay, so again, if you want to make an equivalent fraction, you're going to multiply any number, but make it small because that just makes life easier. Any number. We can do times 3. But whatever you do, you have to multiply your numerator and the denominator by the same number. Okay? If you change that number, it's not going to be equivalent fraction. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. Okay? So let's make a 5th. Oh, I will try to make this kind of even. That's terrible. Holy animals. It's hard to show equivalent fractions if you can't. I'm trying to think if I can do a square or something. I can't. Okay. Oy vey. Let's make that just a little bit. Let's give that a little more space. And there you go. Okay, so here's our 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's shade in a 5th of that. Well, we can also represent it on a number line too. We don't have to draw a picture on a number line. Should be the same as well, because why? Because you're right, they're equivalent. You're correct. Oh Lord, I gotta make this into 15ths. Good gravy. I don't even know. All right, so that should be 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so here's our representation of 15ths. All right, let's shade in 3 of those. And I'm going to try to make it as close as I can to this one. So there's 1, 2, 3. So if you can visualize, those should be the same amount. Now, if we were in class, we'd totally have fraction pieces out showing this, but this is what we're doing, and that's okay. So I've got to let it go. So 1/5 is equivalent to 3/15. So can we do a number fraction? Well, a number line, of course we can. Those need to be even. Again, you got to make them even. Okay. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that just a little bit smaller. Now what do we have to do with this one? We have to break it up into 15 parts, like we did 15 parts there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oi! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're going to do 1/5. So this is 1/5, hop. 1/5. All right, now let's hopefully our 3 will kind of fall right there. So 1, 2, 3. Well, looky there. 3/15. Are they falling in the same place on the number line? They absolutely are falling on the same place in the number line because they are equivalent fractions. You're right. You got it. So I want you to show me some equivalent fractions. We did 1/5. We did a half. Let's do equivalent fractions for fourths. Show me some equivalent fractions for 1/4. Okay. Okay, 1/4 equivalent. What is it equivalent to? So you're going to multiply the top. You can do times 3, which would be 3/12. Or you can say times 2. No matter what, it just has to be the same. Whatever you multiply to the top, you have to multiply to the bottom, okay? And that's how you get an equivalent fraction. So I've already kind of given you a hint there. We have 3/12 and 2/8. Now show me some representations of those. Draw me some pictures or do a number line And all right, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night. Love you guys. Bye.